I know that a lot of my content is geared toward teachers, well, because that's my job. But I got a hunch that today's video is going to speak to a broader spectrum of people, because this video is going to concentrate on tackling and taming our Gmail account.
We've got mail.
So I'm going to touch on every tip and trick that I have found and learned to attempt to not necessarily get you to an inbox of 0, although we could get there if you wanted to, but really to delete what you don't need and to quickly organize what you do need, and have a way to have an empty inbox but still find emails that you may want to be able to go back to later. This Google slideshow is going to be in the description below. Feel free to take it, use it as your own, and help as many people as you can. The only thing I ask is consider subscribing by hitting the subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that thumbs up if you like the video. So let's start by understanding the difference between archiving and deleting. I know that typically I just go right to the delete, and I didn't even know that there was archive or really what it meant to archive something in Gmail. Well, when you archive something, there's a shortcut button inside of your emails that you receive for archiving and also deleting, but archiving doesn't delete. What it does is it takes it out of your inbox and puts it into the general folder that is all mail. And that's great because all mail can be searched, and we're going to go over how to search that quickly and easily. Deleting something puts it into your garbage. And after 30 days, that garbage gets emptied. So when you delete something, yeah, it's not deleted entirely right away, but it will be. So both are going to take the emails out of the inbox, but only one of them, delete, is going to get rid of it for good eventually. So how do we delete emails quickly and easily when we use this tactic? Well, the first thing that I know is I've got to go to my settings and I've got to make sure that my inbox is a default inbox in order to do this. At least that's what I found. So I'll come back to this and make sure that your inbox is default, but really you just go into settings, you're going to go to inbox, and then just make sure that it's on default here. If you got to switch it, you're going to have to hit save at the bottom so that that takes place and you can go back to your inbox. Now, when I'm in my inbox, I'm going to search for anything that's older than 2 years, and that's going to come up. So when I click the box at the top left, it's going to select all 50 conversations that are in my Gmail that say, hey, these are the ones that are 50 conversations that are 2 years or older. And if I then see next to where it then says all 50 conversations on this page are selected, there's a blue link that says select all conversations that match this search. So if I click that, it just went up to 106 conversations that's been selected. So at this point, I can try to do whatever I want with these. I can delete them, I can move them to an inbox, or I can go ahead and I can archive them. If I choose archive, that's going to keep them still in all mail, but they're going to take them out of my inbox. This is a bulk action that happens, and so it may take about a minute for it to actually get everything cleared out. So we're going to hit OK. And as this is loading and trying to work, I'm going to do a little fast forward montage for you right now. That wasn't too bad. Less than 30 seconds. So archiving those took me down to 355 messages. Now, if I want to take a look at the rest of my inbox, this trick right here is you find the number of messages that you have, 1 through 50. You can actually reverse the order of these. So instead of going from newest at the top to oldest at the bottom, you can actually start with the oldest. And you can then go ahead and take a look at what you have and start working your way backwards. And you can go to newer as we move to the left. We can then go ahead and change our order back to newest, and newest goes to the top. If I want to select just all of my email and do one thing to it, I can go back to my inbox. I can select that top left corner checkbox. And now what you'll see is, yes, it selected all 50 conversations that are on this page. I didn't search for anything. This is just the inbox. But it then says that we can select all 355 conversations that are still in this inbox, even after we cleared out everything that was 2 years old or older. And so we can do one mass action with that if we wanted to. So if I click on that, you can see that all 355 conversations in the inbox are selected. We'll go into all the different actions that we could possibly do, but we could archive, delete, and then put labels to them if we wanted to. Another way to find emails quickly and easily from a person or a company is to click on it. So when you click on it and you stay in the title section and then right-click, you're going to see that you can find emails from, in this case, it's Peacock. And so it would find anything that I have in my inbox from Peacock TV. And if I want to delete them, I could select them all or move them to wherever I need to. So just another way to find what you're looking for quickly. If I wanted to find all the emails from my Allstate agent, I would right-click, find emails from John Taylor, and all of them would come up. I can then mass delete or archive all of them at the same time. So before we get too deep with filters and labels and really starting to organize stuff, let's get rid of stuff we just don't want. And one of the ways to do this is unsubscribe from emails that you don't want, especially advertisements. Find the unsubscribe link in the body of the email. Here's my email from Peacock once again, and typically it is at the bottom. And so I want to scroll down to the very bottom. It is very tough to find. They don't make it easy for you, but you can see down here, click here to unsubscribe. Very small. When I click it, it's going to take me to their unsubscribe page. Some of these tell you that you have to go through a series of checkboxes and they want to make sure that you're making the right decision. But yes, Peacock made it very easy. I am now unsubscribed from receiving any of those emails. Now, the other part of this is if you want to really take it to the next extreme, let's learn how to block a user. When we go back to my email and I click on the 3 dots on the right-hand side, what I like to call the snowman, you can click that and actually go down to block Peacock. And if you block them, future emails from the noreply@email.peacocktv.com, it'll be marked as spam, and it's going to go directly to your spam folder. It will never hit your inbox. So all you have to do is click block, and that will be gone. So for the next section, I'm going to use my work email to demonstrate how to create labels and then categorize different emails that come in by creating filters. So let's start with labels. Labels can be mistaken by people. A lot of people will say folders because they're used to that in Google Drive. I guess they tried to make it a little bit different from Drive by calling them labels. So this is my work email address, and you can see the different schools that I work for and with have their own label. In order to create these labels, and you can see I do have some emojis with them, is that you may have to click on more down below. And if you scroll down at the very bottom, it's going to say create new label. Let's click it. And then you can go ahead and put a name of whatever you want to name the label. You can also nest one of these labels underneath another one. And so if you pick that, you're going to have to select the one that you want to nest it underneath. So you can have labels within labels. I tend not to like to do that. And so if I wanted to go ahead and put an emoji with this, I have my emoji keyboard by JoyPixels, and I will link the video to how you get this right up above here. And then I can go ahead and pick the emoji that I want. When I go back, I'm just going to use Control-V to paste and then hit create. You can see that my label is in the list with the rest of them now, and in order to change the label color, you can click on the snowman that's just to the right of it, go down to label color, and they have some suggestions here for you, or you could add a custom color if you wanted to. So these labels are great because if an email comes in and I want to make sure that I put it in the correct labeled category, all I have to do is right click on it, go down to label as, and then all of my labels come up. All I have to do then is click the checkbox and then hit apply. And you can see that that label is now applied to that email. Now it's just that specific email. It's not for any email that comes in or even the same email that comes in once again. So let's talk now about filters and how we can have emails coming in and automatically get a label applied to them and also automatically, if we want, be put into the label folder. When we apply a filter, any email address, subject heading, keywords even in an email that come into our inbox, we can have rules applied to it. Let's go into the email and actually apply a filter to this email that I have here. So as I look at the body of the email, I'm going to go to the snowman on the right hand side. I'm going to click it and I'm going to go down to filter messages like this. And we're going to have a window pop up. And you're going to see an email address up above. I could go ahead and filter emails by the subject if you're getting emails that come in by the subject quite a bit, or if they have certain words in them. But I'm going to leave it as the email address, and I'm going to come down to where it says create filter. So when I click this, I get a lot of options. What do I want to happen when this email address comes and tries to get into my inbox? Well, the first one is we could skip the inbox and automatically archive it. And that might be something that we want to do if we're getting email from people that we really don't want. That's going to clean up our inbox a lot. Remember, archive is not going to delete it. It's only going to get it out of our inbox. We could always go back and search for it if we needed to when we go to all mail. When it comes in, we can mark it as read, so it wouldn't go to your read messages at all. We can star it. We'll talk about stars a little bit later. Here's where we can apply a label. So anytime this comes in, I can apply a label to this email. So if I want to put Todd's email to keep, anytime that this email comes in, it would go to that label. If we want to add a forward address to the email, we could go ahead and put that address in, and then that checkbox would highlight. So if this email comes in and I want to make sure it goes to somebody else automatically, that can happen. We would click on add forwarding address, and we would put that in here to the forwarding message. If we click delete it, when the email comes in, it automatically gets deleted. We can never send it to spam. So if something's coming in, I know that I've worked with teachers that have had student emails come in and they automatically go to their spam. So we fix that by going to the actual student's email address, making sure we set up a filter to never send it to spam. We can mark it as important, we could never mark it as important, and we can also categorize it and choose our categories. I don't play around with the categories that much because I do like my labels instead. The last thing is, whatever we choose, we can apply it to the other 4 matching messages that Gmail has found with this email address. So it would apply to all of the existing email that you have from this address and any email that comes in afterwards. I right now am going to send myself a message from my personal email to my work. And here it is. And I'm going to apply a filter to this so that you can see how it actually works. So I'm going to go to those 3 dots, filter messages like this. It's my personal email account. I'm going to click on create filter for this email address. I'm going to skip the inbox. And I'm also going to put it into the labeled folder of Todd's emails to keep. And I can also apply and filter the 11 matching messages that I already have if I want to. I'm going to do that as well. So I'm going to click on create filter. Remember, you don't have to check this last one because if you don't want any of the other messages that have come from, in this case, myself, we wouldn't have to apply it. But any messages that I send to myself going forward, it's going to automatically skip my inbox and go into the correct labeled folder. So I'm going to create that filter. And now what I'm going to do is, you can see that in my folder here, Todd's emails to keep, there are 8 messages, but there's a total of 12 messages that you can see because there was ones that we already put in there. So now I'm going to switch over to my personal email and I'm going to send my work email another email and see if this actually worked. I'm going to send. I'm going to go back to my work email and I'm waiting. I'm looking to see if that 8 goes to a 9 over here or if it ends up in my actual inbox.
You've got mail.
Oh, it just switched. It did not go to my inbox and it went directly into my labeled folder. If I click that folder, did the filter work? There's the email that I just sent to myself. So it never went into my inbox and it automatically got pushed exactly where I wanted it to go. This is going to help you clean up your email inbox big time. The next preference that I personally love, and I've actually switched a lot of people over to that I've worked with, is not having your inbox all as one giant inbox where you've got some messages that are read, some that are not, and they're all over the place. I like anything that I haven't read to be at the top and then everything else be underneath, and I'm able to minimize those messages. So going back to my work email inbox, you can see that I have unread messages here, 1 of 18. And if I scroll down, you can see everything else 1 of 8 here. Well, I can go ahead and click this little caret and it will just fold up everything that is not read yet and give me just everything else. If I want to do that with everything else, I can do that as well. And just kind of fold those up so that I now have a nice, neat inbox. So if I want to look at my unread messages, I can just click that caret and only concentrate on things that I haven't read. If I need to go back to something that I haven't seen or haven't archived or deleted yet, I can click on everything else and then just concentrate on those messages and making sure I clear them out, trying to keep my inbox as minimal as possible. If you don't have this, how do you do it? Well, I'm going to go back to my personal email and show you how this is done. What you're going to do is you're going to go to the settings gear icon in the top right corner. Click it. You're going to click on See All Settings. And then you're going to go to Inbox. It should be the third one from the right. At the very top, it says Inbox Type. And for mine, for my personal email, it should say Default, and it might for yours as well. I'm going to click on that drop-down menu, and I want to make sure that I put Unread first. And so it comes up with the option Unread and then everything else. And that's exactly the order that I want it in. Now, what you got to make sure to do, I know Google products like to save themselves, but with email, this doesn't save automatically. You want to go to the very bottom where it says Save Changes, and you want to click. Now you can see that all of my emails that are unread can be clicked and all rolled up into the unread section, and same thing with everything else, just like my work email. So give unread and everything else a shot by going into your settings. Another tip that a lot of people don't know about, but it will definitely help you clean up your inbox and keep it nice and neat, is the Send and then Archive button. It's something that's in settings that you can turn on that a lot of people don't know about. It's going to save you a click, which in the grand scheme of things is what we want to do. We want to save time. So in my personal email, if I was to reply to JCrew, you can see that at the bottom, I could type the body of my message and then hit send. And that's really all I have. But if I go to the settings gear, click on See All Settings, and then in the General section, I'm going to scroll down just a little bit, and it says Send and Archive. That's what you're going to look for. See where it says Hide the Send and Archive button in reply? That's the default that's automatically clicked. Switch it to show the Send and Archive button when you reply. So I've toggled that. I'm going to go all the way down because I do have to save the changes for Gmail at the very bottom. So now when I go to reply to one of these emails, you're going to see the button now go from send to the Send and Archive icon. And the send button is still there, so if you don't want to archive it, you can just send it and then it will stay within your inbox. But automatically archiving the minute that you send a message out, not only is that getting it out of your inbox, but you are able to go back and search for it if you want to, and it's keeping our goal in front of us. We want to keep a clean inbox. So turn on your send and archive button and make your life just a little bit easier when you send or reply to messages. A couple other cool tips and tricks, especially when it comes to searching, is going ahead and using the search text window and knowing that you can search for something by typing in the word "trash" or "spam" and then look for whatever it is that you're looking for. You can also use the shortcut of label : and then what it is that you're looking for with your labels, but you can just click on the label that's on the side for that also. If you know that there's a specific file name or attachment that's in an email, but you can't find the email, you can actually type in the word file name : and then the name of that file, and that will actually bring up the email that has that file name in it. You can also search keywords. So if you were looking for emails that had dinner, but you didn't want movie in it, you could write the word dinner and then the hyphen movie, so dinner minus movie, and it's only going to look for emails that have the word dinner in it, and it's not going to include any emails that have the word movie. We should be pretty familiar that Google does have a star system, at least the gold star. But if you go into settings, you'll find a lot more icons, including a lot more stars. And so you're able to actually search by the star color. Go into your settings and you set up what the icons are that you want to use. Maybe one of them is the blue star. You can then go ahead in your search bar and type #blue-star, and it will bring up all of your emails that have blue stars. Very similar to labels, but instead it's using your star system instead of a label. Google has come out with a mute button, and the mute button's great for conversation threads that you just don't want to be a part of anymore. If I bring up a conversation that has a thread, I can click on that thread, click on more from the top, and go down to mute. What that will do is it will seemingly, it's going to make the thread completely disappear, but really it's just going into your all mail archive section. You can always find that email thread in your all mail section, and you can unmute it if you want. Finally, where is all mail? Well, your all mail is going to show up underneath your labels, and it's going to say all mail. When you click it, you will see how many emails you actually have. You can see in my work, I have over 24,000 emails. Whoa! This is something that I've got to obviously take some of my own advice and start cleaning out so that I can actually find things a little bit quicker and easier. You can take all of the tips and tricks that I've just given you to help clean out your inbox in order to try to delete a lot of the messages that show up under all mail that you know that you don't need anymore. We continue to archive and we continue to think that we need things, but it's great to go back to those emails that are way past date that we do not need anymore and get them one step closer from all mail to actually being in the trash can and eventually getting deleted. Hey, great job. You made it all the way to the end of the video. I appreciate that, and I hope to see you in the next one.